Hello, boils and ghouls. Today, we're going to talk about the cast list announcement. I'm very excited about this. There are some great names. All the names are great. It's very exciting. But before I get into them, I want to talk about the announcement itself, the way they chose to do it as a live stream, which when I saw it, I was like, oh, cool, fun. I figured I could do with that what I do with other streams that I watch, which is essentially put it on in a new tab and listen to it while I go on about my day. I ended up not doing that because I tried to actually watch it for a few minutes because this was, for me, a Wednesday afternoon. But it took so long between chairs that I either forgot I had anything on because it was quiet, or like nothing was happening, that I gave up. And I noticed that they were simultaneously releasing names on social media. So I turned on notifications for their Threads account, and that's how I kept up. Because I said it was a Wednesday afternoon for me, and I had other things to do for 5.5 hours than sit and watch nothing happen on a live stream. Now, some of the names I expected to see, because this is an Avengers movie, and there are still some Avengers living, like Thor and Ant-Man. And I would just like to mention how much I loved the fact that when they announced Paul Rudd, he had a tiny little chair. Also, all the pictures I'm putting up are screenshots I took from Threads. So the first name announced was Chris Hemsworth, who is Thor. Interesting choice to announce him first. I guess they did that, I'm speculating, because he's the only person in this movie that is an original Avenger. So obviously Avengers Doomsday, you're gonna maybe lead with an Avenger. And then the next name is Vanessa Kirby, who is Sue Storm. Again, that makes sense. Fantastic Four, Dr. Doom's in this movie too. Next we get Sam, Captain America. That made me happy. Because Avengers, you have to have Cap, right? Can't have an Avengers movie without Captain America. And after him, we get Bucky. Which, if you don't know, I love Bucky. This cast list actually has like 2 of my top 3 favorite Marvel characters. The only one missing is Wanda. But anytime I see Sebastian Stan's name and I know Bucky's going to be in a movie, that just makes me more inclined to prioritize seeing it when it comes out, because I freaking love Bucky so much. The next name announced is Shuri. I am so excited that she is in another movie as Black Panther. In fact, when Wakanda Forever came out, my dad went to go see it with my nephew. And the first thing I said to them was, Shuri's Black Panther now, right? And they said yes. And I'm like, okay, good. Because if she wasn't, I would have been pissed. So I'm excited to see the new Black Panther. And then we have Ant-Man. Every time I see Ant-Man in something that's not an Ant-Man movie, I'm like, okay. Not my favorite. In fact, when they added him to Avengers, or like when they announced they were making Ant-Man movies, I looked at the announcement and went, what? What? Ant-Man? Really? What? Okay. Because honestly, half the time I forget Ant-Man exists. It's actually on my sweatshirt somewhere over here. But they announced him, but not Wasp. And like I said, I loved that they made it funny by giving him the little teeny tiny chair, which was only tiny when they announced him, and normal size after that, when they panned from him to Wyatt Russell. I got no problem with Wyatt Russell. It's John Walker. I don't like John Walker. I never have. Ever since Falcon and the Winter Soldier, I have referred to him as that asshole John Walker. But with him and Bucky, we're starting to see the Thunderbolts in this movie. So now I'm keeping an eye out for that. We have Thor, so I'm looking for other Avengers, which Sam. I'm counting Shuri because she's Black Panther. Also, Cap pretty much made everybody an Avenger during Endgame, so that also includes Ant-Man. But after John Walker, we got a name I was kind of surprised to see. And it's Namor, who we've only seen in Wakanda Forever, and I wasn't expecting him to show up in this. So I'm very interested to see what role he's going to play. And after him, we get Ben, who is Thing from the Fantastic Four. Again, not a surprise because this is a Doctor Doom movie. But the name after him was once again a surprise to me, because it's Shang-Chi. Because there has not been mention of him since his movie. And I'm very excited to see him in this because I love that movie. I love anything with martial arts in it, so you know he's gonna be out here kicking ass with his 10 rings, right? I'm very excited about it. I'm also very excited about the name that comes after him, which is Yelena. Another Thunderbolt. She is our Black Widow for this movie, and I love her. I love her so much. So when they showed her name, I'm like, oh, okay, we're just gonna throw all the Thunderbolts in this movie. I'm not mad about it. In fact, the more names you can give me, the happier I will be, because I am Marvel trash. Now, the next name piqued my interest the minute I figured out. It was like halfway through the first name, and I was like, it cannot be. It was Kelsey Grammer, and immediately, out loud, I said, Beast? They have Beast in this movie? Surely not. An X-Men? No. No, no. Because the only time Kelsey Grammer has been part of Marvel was in an X-Men movie where he played Beast. So, of course, that's immediately where my mind went. But I was also logicking it out to myself that just because he's in it doesn't mean he's playing Beast. Because it's been forever, and the only X-Men characters we've seen in the MCU are like Wanda and P, and now Wolverine. And I didn't want to get my hopes up, because we've all been waiting for X-Men in the MCU for friggin' ever, right? So I was managing my expectations. So the next name after him, I actually had to look up because I didn't recognize it. And the reason I didn't recognize Lewis Pullman was because obviously I've not seen Thunderbolts yet. But he is Sentry. And a lot of people were saying that the fact that the Thunderbolts are in it kind of tell you what the outcome will be of the Thunderbolts movie, because obviously Sentry's here. We have Bucky, Yelena, and friggin' John Walker. And the name after him is Torres, the new Falcon. I haven't seen the new Captain America movie, but I'm sure he is a good choice. And then we have another Fantastic Four member, Johnny Storm, because obviously they're all going to be in this Doctor Doom-centric movie. And then we have Alexei, Red Guardian, who I love. He's so funny. And the little clips that I've seen of him interacting with Bucky in the trailers for Thunderbolts, I think those two in a movie are going to be a great time. And I love the way that he interacts with Yelena as well, as like her father figure. And then we have another name I was surprised to see, M'Baku from Black Panther. I like that he's back. I like this character. And it'll be interesting to see how he factors into it. Maybe Shuri brings him along, because he's not exactly the superhero type, you know? But maybe he's just keeping an eye on Wakanda while Shuri is avenging. And the name after him is Ghost, another Thunderbolt. It'll be interesting to see her in a movie with Ant-Man, because we first saw her in Ant-Man and the Wasp. And after her, we start getting into names that really made me excited for this. Like, really excited for this. Loki. I cannot express to you the amount of shock I had when I saw his name and the myriad of questions that went through my mind. Like, is this end of Loki season 2 Loki, or is this another variant, or does this take place at a different time? Like, I had so many questions. The next few names damn near made me cry out of surprise and happiness. Patrick Stewart. He's Charles Xavier. And when I saw that, I immediately thought back to Kelsey Grammer and said, that's Beast. Because, like, the odds of both of them being in this movie and him not being Beast are low to me. And we've seen Patrick Stewart in the MCU during Multiverse of Madness playing an alternate Charles. And then after him, we have Ian McKellen as Magneto. I'm very excited about this. I don't know if you can tell, because now I'm kind of, like, hopping around. I have wanted for a long time the two of them back in a movie together as Charles and Eric before either of them died. And I really didn't think I would see it. So these two mean so much to me in this movie. But the next one is my number one all-time favorite Marvel character, and it's Nightcrawler, played by Alan Cumming, who is my favorite actor for him, and I can't. There are no words to express how freaking excited I am to see him in this. I literally never thought I would see the day. And after him, they announced Rebecca Romijn as Mystique. She's the original Mystique from the first X-Men movie. And I love it. I love that they're bringing back the original actors. Even Scott, who honestly is not my favorite of the X-Men, but he's here. And, you know, I want them to do with these X-Men what they did with Wolverine and give them comic accurate costumes. I'm sure they will, but if they don't, I'll be pissed. And I was very excited to see the next name, Channing Tatum. Now, let me tell you, Remy is not my favorite character by a long shot, but I think he plays him very well. And I enjoyed watching him in Deadpool and Wolverine. And as he said, he about to make a name for himself up in here. And he's fucking doing it, because he's in a friggin' Avengers movie now. And they gave him a comic accurate costume also. So that gives me hope for the rest of the X-Men. Would have loved to see Storm in this, personally. But the fact that we're getting X-Men in any capacity whatsoever has made me so happy. Like, they were my first introduction into Marvel back in the 90s. So anytime I see anything with X-Men, it just makes my little nerd heart happy. Now, the second to last name is no surprise. It's Pedro Pascal as Reed Richards, because we have to round out the Fantastic Four. But the final name, I think we all saw coming, because it all leads to Doom, is Robert Downey Jr. Which, unless he's got a mask on the whole time, like, in my mind, he's still just gonna be Tony Stark. Especially with his cast list. Like, I'm sure he'll do a fantastic job differentiating himself between Stark and Doom, to where maybe I won't really notice it's the same actor. But, you know, for 15 years, that face was the face of Marvel. Would have also liked to see Wanda in this, because she's, again, one of my top 3, and I love her. There's also not one Guardians of the Galaxy, and I think it would have been fun to see Rocket and Bucky back in a movie together. There's no Hulk either. Neither a he nor a she. No Peter. No Doctor Strange. However, maybe they're leaving some things for a surprise. Right? They can't tell you everybody. Marvel loves a cameo. I'd like to know what the logic was for the order they put them in. Like, yeah, you started with an Avenger, you started with a Fantastic Four member, you put Sam and Bucky together, but you didn't keep the Thunderbolts together, you didn't keep the Fantastic Four together. You kept the OG X-Men together, but you singled out Beast. Maybe it's order of appearance, maybe it's just completely random, and I'm looking for patterns where there aren't any. But I like that there were names I did not expect, like Shang-Chi and Namor. I love that we're finally getting X-Men. And I love that we're getting my favorite one in Nightcrawler. I love that they put Kurt and Mystique next to each other, because she's his mama. But what I'm really intrigued about is Loki. Which Loki is this? Is this still, like, you know, end of season 2, King Loki, I am the timeline Loki? And if it is he, like, handpicking these people? Is he sending the TVA to be like, listen, this Doom guy is up to some shit, and the Fantastic Four needs some help. I'm giving you all the good ones. Take them. You know? Or is this another variant of Loki? Because Marvel, at least with the Infinity Saga, did not release their movies in chronological story order, so that's how I kind of approach any release that they do. But there have been things in this new era that have come out chronologically. Obviously, Agatha All Along comes out after WandaVision and Multiverse was obviously after WandaVision. Does that mean that's happening here? That it's some sort of chronological thing? I don't know. Probably won't know till, like, Fantastic Four and maybe Thunderbolts, because they're all in here. Except for Taskmaster. Taskmaster's not in this, so I have a feeling things are not going to end well for her in Thunderbolts. But who knows? There could be secret people that they're not telling us about. And there's also Secret War, which comes out in 2027. And if you Google this movie and Secret War, it's all the same people. There's way more on the list of this than there is in Secret War, but it's the same. It's like 12 of the same people for Secret War. Although, like, I was looking it up on Google while I was, like, watching them post it on Threads. I don't know where Google gets its information, because they still have Chris Evans listed. And I remember last year, at first they said yeah, and then they said no. So either he's really not in it, or he's going to be a surprise cameo. Where it's getting names for Secret War, I have no idea. I don't know how Google compiles this information, or if it has, like, inside knowledge that the rest of us don't have. Also, the cast list on Wikipedia also I was looking at, and I think we all know Wikipedia is not the most reliable source of information, because literally anybody with an account can put whatever they want. I can go in there now and make it say that the entire cast is all 7 members of BTS. But that had Tom Holland and Benedict Cumberbatch, but they're not here. Again, we could have surprise cameos. And I kind of hope, and I think all Marvel productions should do this. If you remember in Deadpool and Wolverine, the fight of 1,000 Deadpools, on the bus, there was a bus poster of Stan Lee. I want something like that. I think every Marvel production should have some little, like, photo cameo of Stan Lee. Just for the tradition, you know? And then it can become like a game. Did you find the hidden Stan Lee? It's like a hidden Mickey, but it's a hidden Stan Lee. Because I'm one of those people that tends to watch the background more, and that would be fun for me. Now, a lot of times, not with Marvel, because the last time they had a padded out cast like this, it was Endgame, and it was friggin' fantastic. But a lot of the time, when a studio puts a lot of big names in a movie, it ends up sucking. But this isn't just a studio, this is Marvel, they know what they're doing. So I have extremely high expectations for this. Is it Endgame level expectation? No. I don't think that we've built the story enough for that. So it's interesting to me that we're getting such a densely character-packed movie. Who knows what's gonna happen in Thunderbolts or Fantastic Four. I'm just really excited that it's another movie with Bucky and Loki and Nightcrawler. Like, my lock screen has been Bucky for years, and my wallpaper is Nightcrawler. Like, that's how excited I am for, like, those have been on my phone forever. So the fact that I'm getting both of them in one movie, y'all don't even understand. And as I said, it would only be perfect if my girl Wanda is in there. I need more Wanda. Because even Agatha said on her show, is she dead? Yes, no, maybe, yeah, nobody knows. Do I think she's dead? No. If we're pulling Loki into this, we can have anybody. I want Natasha back as well, just saying. But I'm happy with Yelena being the representative Black Widow and, you know, by proxy Natasha because they're sisters. I also just love Yelena as a character as well. I think she's great. And honestly, the fact that I nearly teared up looking at some of these names was a little bit concerning to me. I was not expecting that. The level of surprise I had, like I said, put my expectations very high. And there was, I saw it on Instagram. Robert Downey Jr. commented on Marvel's Instagram post about this. I took a screenshot of it. Hold on. I'll put it up here. It says, "That's what you call a deep bench of talent. Actually, it's more like a row, but an extra long one. That must be it, right?" And Marvel replies, "There's always room for more." More. As I said, cameos, unannounced people. They have to leave some surprise for when you watch the movie. Maybe that's Wanda. Maybe that's Steve Rogers. Maybe it's Hulk. Maybe it's Haley Steinfeld, you know, Hawkeye in training. Because if you notice, Jeremy Renner is not in this. He's not in this list anyway. And I saw somebody on Threads say that anytime Jeremy Renner's not in an Avengers movie, they lose. It's what happened in Infinity War. So who knows? But Marvel themselves has said, there's room for more. There's so many more people they could put in this movie. Should they? I don't know. Could you overstuff a film with characters? I mean, like I said, it worked in Endgame. And this has, like, everybody from that and then some. We don't have an Iron Man either. Ironheart? Do you think Ironheart will show up in this? Like, she's having a mini-series. So do you think she'll show up in this as, like, the representative Iron Man? Imagine if it's Pepper. I don't think that would ever happen. But it would be funny, huh? But that comment Marvel made to Downey just ramps it up a little bit more. Ramps the excitement up just a little bit more. Anyway, I feel like I've been talking for a long time. Please let me know what you thought of this cast announcement, what you think of the names, and if there's anybody not mentioned that you would like to see, please let me know. I'm very interested to know what other people think about this. Anyway, yeah, that's it for this video. Thank you for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.